The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. Andy Brownell with News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. And another Saturday morning with Robin Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
You have had a crazy week.
Yes, it's been really busy. So last Saturday when we were here in the crappy rain, sad that the Fall Festival had been canceled, but oh boy. In the end, we were super glad that it got rescheduled to Sunday.
It was a fortunate decision.
Yeah. So from here, we still had to go to the Neuro Hospitality House event, and that was one of those Sertoma casino nights out at the event center. People love that. You know, they don't have to get quite as fancy. You know, they come dressed nice, but, you know, a little more casual, and they don't have to just sit at one table all night and listen to the, speakers. Instead, they're running around playing blackjack and spinning the wheel. And
not really losing any money out of it either.
Yeah, but the way they were hooting and hollering, I really wanted to go up to them and say, you people do realize this is paper money, right? But no, it was really a fun event. And happy to say, as a board member of the Neuro Hospitality House, that some good money was made. We introduced envelopes for ongoing contributions, and we had 50 people sign up to be monthly donors, which is awesome. And then in addition to that, another $3,000 was given in envelopes, and that's all over and above what we made at the silent auction and then tickets to the event. So,
wow, fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really successful event. So everything that we've done so far this week has been successful. It's been our week of community involvement. So
the Fall Festival at the Peace Plaza, you could have asked for better fall weather.
Oh, my gosh. It was amazing. I was a little nervous because it was a rain date, right? So people, especially like the vendors, have everything planned for Saturday, so you don't know how many of the things are going to change and what's not going to be there. And then, of course, it's football, so you don't know who's all going to stay home to watch football.
It was too nice of a day to watch football.
But the good news is there were a lot of families with kids who might have been busy playing soccer or something on Saturday, had it been Saturday.
Oh, sure.
So there was, literally thousands of people down there. The place was jam-packed.
That's fantastic.
They had the lawn by the fountain over on the Peace Plaza fountain there. They had the lawn just peppered in pumpkins like 3 times over, and they just kept going. There was a lot of people. It was really nice. There's fun things. The kids loved the face painter that we brought. There was a solid literally, there was a 1-hour wait the entire 4 hours. And she did like 3-minute face designs, but there were that many kids down there getting their face painted. Yeah, it was really good. And we saw one little goat jump the fence and escape the petting zoo.
A crisis.
Yeah, they caught him. They caught him pretty quick. But anyway,
Probably mowed the lawn a little bit is all it did.
I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record, but I'm so impressed with that Downtown Alliance and how well they are doing with bringing people to downtown and the events that they put on down there. So I had been to the Fall Festival the year before as well, not a sponsor the year before, but just the growth from last year to this year was really amazing. So super successful.
And that was just the beginning of the week.
Yeah, that was Sunday. And then Thursday night, we were at the Civic Center for the Channel 1 fundraiser, the Empty Bowls.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
They serve the soup, and you get to choose your bowls.
Yeah, they had really good soup. And they had some other stuff. And your buddy, James Raby, was there. He was the host, I guess. And he would draw out names of people who had texted in to donate money to play Plinko, and we got so lucky because like 5 people at our table got drawn to play Plinko, so we won some fun prizes.
More than just soup.
Yeah, more than just soup.
I heard it was a real success.
Well, they ran out of food. They actually had more people than they expected to have.
So they had to give out vouchers for the next
isn't that funny? It's a food bank, right? Saying, come and support the people who are without food. And then she's like, well, sorry, we kind of ran out of food, but nobody.
Well, it's wonderful. That's a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah, nobody minded. It was really, really good. The turnout was great. And then, of course, Friday night was another organization that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the Jeremiah Project. And so I was fortunate enough to be a co-chair for that event. And it was the first gala that the program has had. And it was really successful. It was sold out. It was really successful. And it was a really fun Wizard of Oz theme. So,
neat.
Yeah, kind of like follow your dreams. It was cool.
So the Jeremiah Project is new to Rochester.
It is.
And we're lucky as a community to land them because they've become quite successful in what they do in other parts of the country.
You know, it's for people who don't know, it's changing lives 2 generations at a time. So it's providing homes, apartments, basically, for single moms with young children under the age of 5. And it's sort of a multi-purpose of educating mom and child at the same time. So the mom has to be pursuing her education, whether it be in VOTAC or beauty school or 2-year college or 4-year college, but her goal is to be pursuing her education at the same time. The toddlers are being educated there in a nursery preschool type setting.
So you're supplying support to mom while she is making a better life for the both of them.
Correct. So we're changing lives 2 generations at a time.
Breaking that cycle.
Yeah,
I love that program.
It's awesome. It's so awesome.
Are they're not done with the building yet, are they?
No.
Okay.
It's being built.
It's
So
being built
so
as
right
we
now they
speak.
have temporary housing going on, but the program is open in Rochester, and there are families
It's
here
going to be
that
a
we're
beautiful
supporting.
facility when it's done.
It is right across from the Lourdes High School and Rochester Athletic Center. Yeah, really nice location. Yeah, so it's been, it's like, who has time to sell real estate when there's four fundraisers in 1 week, right? No, but actually the truth is that that's the glory of my job is where do I see people when I'm out in the community? So I'm constantly touching base with my past clients or people who, just people who know of me. Or it was so fun at the Fall Festival because we have such a large team. So I don't know all of my team's clients. And so it was fun to have people go up to me and say, oh, Branton sold me a house. I just loved working with him. Or Joe sold us our house and he was great. And oh, we love Crystal. She was our agent. It's so much fun to hear that. So I think it's so important to just embed yourself into the community if you want to be successful in business. And I think that's really true to our business for sure.
Well, it's beneficial both ways. The community
benefits from you. It's a win-win. And there's nothing better than a win-win.
Absolutely. Well, when we get back, we can talk more about real estate.
Sounds good.
And the business of real estate. With Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Results. I'm Andy Brownell on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
I'm Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Fall's here. Well, fall. Fall is being felt.
Is it fall
today.
or is it winter? Tell me the truth. I think it's supposed to be fall.
Well, that first freeze had to happen sometime. So there's a lot to do in the fall if you own a home or other property.
Well, we talked about how it just sneaks up on you, right? Here we are. For those of us who did extensions on our taxes, October 15th is just around the corner. So we met with our gal, got that all squared away yesterday. But for people who did buy houses in 2018 and did file an extension, if you haven't completed that, make sure you have all the paperwork from your sale because, that's all tax deductible. Sometimes people call me and say, I forgot what I did with it or I don't know where I put it. It's really easy to get you another copy. So it's easy to call the closing company where you closed and they can just print that out or email that to you. So, and if you bought a house this year, then you'll want to make sure you set that aside for when you get your taxes done next year.
In the winter.
Yeah. So just, that's one thing I want people to be aware of. Another thing is that December 1st date is sneaking up on us, and that's the homesteading date. So if you purchased a house this year and you haven't filed for your homestead yet, I don't want you to forget to do that.
Do not forget that.
Yeah, don't forget to do that. So you have, a little bit of time left, but December 1st is the deadline on that. But the more urgent things with the weather changing so quickly are things like, if you haven't had your sprinkler guy out to winterize your sprinkler system, that's got to be done. You got to blow those out and get that winterized. In my case, we had to winterize our pool, and so have a lot of other people been busy doing that. And make sure you've got your garden hoses removed from the side of the house.
I know. I did that one time.
One time is usually enough. People usually remember after they've done it once.
Yeah, it was a mess.
And a lot of times people move to Minnesota from other parts of the country. So they're very intelligent, educated people, but they just don't know about things like having to remove the garden hose from the faucet on the outside of the house.
35 below will take care of a lot of problems or create a lot of problems. And then, another thing people don't do is they don't take that garden hose. They'll unhook it, but then they'll just leave it lay there. You want to make sure you drain all the water out of it, because if there's still water in that hose, when it freezes, your hose is going to be no good in the spring. So, it's just that maintenance that you want to do. You have a whole list, actually.
I have a whole list, so I didn't forget anything. So let me look at it. I've got clean the gutters.
Okay, get the leaves and mud and all the junk out of there.
Yes, because otherwise, what happens?
You have a lot of water and ice form right along the edge of your roof.
Right, because there's no place for the water to get in the gutter and get off of there. So make sure those gutters are clean and empty and, ready to be used the way they're intended to be used. So that's important. And then make sure that you don't have any water being trapped behind the gutters and the downspouts, because that all will become ice and frozen and cause problems. Okay.
They could be very expensive problems if you don't watch out.
Yes. And then, of course, you also want to make sure that you don't have any low spots where the water pools on the ground, because that's very dangerous. So it can even cause foundation problems if the water gets in and underneath, too close to the foundation. So sometimes now is a good time to walk around the outside of your house and make sure that you've got the dirt all sloping away from the house. Just make sure that there's nothing sloping toward the house. So it's easy. It's routine maintenance, but it's things that we all get really busy and forget to do.
And the funny thing is, you wish you would have started on these in July.
But you don't have to.
No.
You just, as long as you get out there and do it now while it's not too terribly cold. And, probably I think I saw next week it's going to be back in the 60s. So, perfect opportunity.
I'm going to hold you to that, by the way.
I think I saw that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think I did. Or maybe it was in my dreams. But
I know the one that people often skip is checking all the windows out to make sure the caulk is done.
Exactly.
Because it can flake off pretty easily if you have really hot summer weather. It can deteriorate pretty fast.
Guess what number 4 says on my list? Look at your windows and your doors and repair any windows or doors or door frames that need to be fixed before the cold weather blows in. Use weather stripping or caulk to seal the areas around the windows and the doors. I mean, clearly you're going to save on your heat bills too. You'll be happy you did that.
Well, you get a little bit of moisture in there, too. And next thing you know, you have some rotted wood in the window frame.
Exactly. I think there's a lot more maintenance on houses in Minnesota than there are a lot of parts of the country, just because of the season changes. We go from extreme cold to high humidity to hot and to a lot of rain. We kind of get a little bit of everything.
I remember in the first years after our house got built, the shifting of the foundation that occurred because of the temperature changes, it knocked one of the door frames completely out of whack.
Wow. And then a lot of times people will get that big crack across the middle of their ceiling and they're like, oh my gosh, and it's just the sheetrock tape broke loose because of the shifting and the settling.
That's amazing how much it can move.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, that was the winter of 91, so that was that nasty, nasty winter.
Gotcha. But it does happen. I mean, it really does happen. So, I mean, it's normal to have some settling. You're going to have it, and nothing you can do about it. And just these are the things that we can do to, make sure that the least amount of damage or changes happen. If you're aware and you're looking at things like, for instance, if you make sure that going into winter, your roof is still in good condition, the chances of you having leaks in the spring after the snow's been piled up on it all winter long are going to be a lot better. So now's the time that if you're kind of getting like, my roof might be getting older, I'm not sure, maybe you call a roofing guy and you have them come up and, get up on your roof and take a look at it and see what kind of condition it's in.
And I know replacing a roof is expensive, but what can happen if you allow the water damage to occur is a lot more expensive.
And then guess what? After that happens, they're going to say, what you need is a new roof. And then you're going to have the expense of repairing the roof after you've repaired all the sheetrock and the ceiling. So, yeah, it's just proactive,
And it's such a big investment.
Right,
and if you don't take care of your investment, it's like a car, maintaining a car. We don't have termites here.
Right.
So that's one thing I'm thankful for. But we do have little critters who get cold and try to find warm places to be.
You got that. And I live a little bit in the country, and I'm deathly afraid of mice, okay? So I told Scott, if I see one mouse in this house, it's when we leave. He's like, okay, you're being ridiculous.
Because you're going to have to leave.
But so far, I've only ever seen signs of mice in my garage. I've never, ever seen any signs of mice in my house. So unless he's seen it first and got rid of it so that, I would. But the truth is that it's cold outside. It's warm inside. And it doesn't take much for mice to get in.
You would be amazed how small of a hole.
Yes. So, if you don't want mice, then I would say set some traps. I got one of these things that you just plug into your garage. And I can't hear it, but it makes some high-pitched noise that scares mice away.
Yeah. I got a dog, though. Probably do the same thing to the dog.
Oh, maybe. I don't know, because we don't have a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, our daughter has a dog who visits us, but he doesn't go in the garage. But anyway, so it's you'd have to find out about if that affects dogs. But I know for a fact that once we've gotten those things, we haven't seen any more signs of mice in the garage. So I think it really does work. But yeah, be aware that they are going to try to get in. So you're going to want to.
We had a mouse get in one time, and we've traced the problem to where the main air conditioning coolant piece comes into the house and goes to the to the coil. They put in like a plumber's putty or something like that, and it had dried, and no way you would have thought a mouse could have got
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, they can get in.
That's another thing to check.
Yeah, and they're going to, like I said, this is the time they're going to want to because they're looking for warm places.
Yep.
So call one of the exterminators, have them come and set traps around the outside of your house. I mean, I see a lot of that because people don't want those critters inside.
No, why would you?
No, not at all. Another thing that's important is make sure that your steps and your driveway and your walkways don't have any uneven spots because then you add ice to uneven, and that can be some really dangerous trip hazards.
And it will shift even more.
It will shift even more. Yep. So good time to get those gaps filled in and fixed as best as you can.
A good time to get to know a handyman.
It is. And actually, if anybody needs one, I know a couple of good handymans, so you could always call me and ask. I would say take a good look at your deck because if there's rotted boards, winter with snow piling up on them is just going to make that matter worse. So it might be a good time to attack that problem.
Or they're not rotted yet, stain them before they get rotted.
Right. And you know what? If you have the energy and the time, it's definitely worth keeping the snow off your deck in the winter because people don't think about how much damage that snow sitting on that wood all winter long really does.
It's quite heavy, too.
It is. And quite wet, right? No matter how waterproof or, treated the lumber is, it's still going to get wet. I also think we have to remember with it getting dark so early, maybe in the summer we weren't so in tune to whether or not our outside lights work or our motion lights work or whatever. But now that it's dark 7 o'clock and pretty soon dark 6 o'clock and before we know it, 5 o'clock. But, it's dark earlier, so we want to make sure your outside lights are working. So change some light bulbs now. A lot better to do it now than in the middle of January.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you still have time to cut back those plants and trim your tree limbs, if they're too close to the roof of your house or hanging too close to power lines, get those tree limbs cut off. Seems like a lot of work to own a house.
I was going to watch the Gopher game today.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It'll already be dark by the time the Gopher game starts, so I'm going to be okay.
Leaves are another thing. Some people just leave the leaves, and other people
you got to mulch them at least, I think.
Right. And you know why? Because otherwise, if you just leave those heavy, wet, blanket of leaves, it's going to affect your lawn next spring. So if you don't want your grass to look green and pretty, then go ahead and leave the heavy, wet, dead leaves. But otherwise, mulch them or rake them and get them off of there.
So there's our to-do list.
I have a couple more.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel like if you have outdoor furniture, patio furniture, store it inside if you can. I mean, even though
buy new ones next year.
Yeah, even though it's made for outside, again, winter in Minnesota, it's hard on that stuff. So it'll last a lot longer if you have an inside place to store it. And if you have a wood-burning fireplace and you're going to have a fire, make sure you get your chimney inspected because you don't want to start a fire if you've got, stuff in your chimney.
Oh, yeah, that creosote builds up.
It really does. Same with your dryer vent. Dryer vents can start fires, so you want to check that. So, basically maintain your house and do a little extra fall checklist to be sure you're, hunkered down and ready for winter.
It'll be that much less that you have to do in the spring.
Right, exactly.
There you go. When it's going to be nice. There. Mm-hmm. All right. A to-do list from Robin Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results. We'll be back in just a few seconds on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. I'm Andy Brownell. News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Still, Robin Gwaltney Group-RE/MAX Results this Saturday morning. We're heading into flu season.
Yep, we sure are. Get your flu shots.
I'm one of these people when it's funny because I only do it after I get sick. Then I start going around cleaning off doorknobs.
Oh, yeah.
Like I already got the bug. I should have done it before I got the bug. But now you've uncovered something that says, maybe I don't have to be so fanatical about that.
I was happy to read this. It says doorknobs aren't as germ-ridden as you might think. If you're worried about the people who have touched the doorknobs, for centuries, doorknobs and door knockers have specifically been made of materials like silver, iron, copper, and aluminum for a reason. These materials kill bacteria and serve as a natural self-disinfectant. So no need to worry about who's touched the doorknob on his way to open the house door.
Wow.
Yeah, that gives me some. I still carry my sanitizer wipes, it's especially at this time of the year because germs do spread.
I'm always fascinated by that type of story because the craftsmen who chose those materials, you wonder if somehow they reached that conclusion without microscopes that it was something they just noticed was happening.
Right.
Because they've been doing that for a long, long time.
I got that little tidbit from this article that was 13 real estate fun facts. I think it came from the Inman News or something this week. But there were some other cute things. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you've ever heard of the term out of the red.
Oh, yeah.
So in Scotland, there is a common custom of painting your front door red whenever you pay off your mortgage. So anyone local who owns a home knows about this custom. So, Andy, the next time you're in Edinburgh, keep your eye out because anybody who's got a red front door means they don't have a mortgage.
They have disposable income.
Isn't that
I'm going to go bug them.
There's a lot of red doors here in the United States. I'm not sure if that's the reason or people just like red doors. But yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing as satisfying as paying off a mortgage.
Yes. And, the bottom line is remember that thing I talked about a few weeks ago, that HomeBot?
Yes.
I've had so many people engaging in that, and I'm so excited because it will tell you, like if I pay an extra $100, how fast will I do it? And it becomes sort of a challenge, and people are excited because I think people have long been led to believe that my mortgage is my mortgage. I'm going to have it for 30 years, and that's just the way it is. And, now there are so many great products where you can refinance and change your 30-year mortgage. Maybe you still owe 22 years on it. Refinance with the interest rates as low as they are to a 10-year product. Your payment might go up a tiny little bit, but your time that you're going to take to sell your house is going to go, down by half.
Oh, yeah.
Less.
Well, so much more of it goes to the principal.
Yes, exactly. So, use that HomeBot app, people. If you're not using it, you signed up, didn't you? I saw that.
I did.
That's awesome.
There's just a ton of information.
Isn't it cool?
You're going to spend a long time just exploring that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And we get a ton of response. We really do. So anytime I can give my clients, and for that matter, my listeners and the general public, valuable tools that are going to help them in their real estate decisions and guide them in their buying and selling, that's what I'm here for. I mean, that's what we do.
That's a very cool app. Highly recommend it. If you want to hear this program and all of the home maintenance discussion that we did in the previous segment, because we went through it pretty fast. If you want to review that, or if you want to hear the previous shows, including some of the early ones where we discussed kind of the ABCs of real estate and selling your home or buying a new home, just go to KROCnews.com and go to the trending bar where it says local podcasts, and you'll find the local Rochester real estate program, and you can listen to any one of them anytime and anywhere. But if you want to talk to Robin specifically about buying or selling a home, how do we do that, Robin?
Or if you need a recommendation for a handyman for all these things that I'm recommending you do before winter approaches, just call me on my cell phone, honestly, anytime. My cell phone number is 507-259-4926, and you're always welcome to visit our website at gwaltneygroup.com.
Well, until next week, Robin.
Sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.